Does anyone else feel this way too? There's so much build-up leading up to the holidays, and then they happen, and they're suddenly over, and it's the new year. We should be filled with hope and optimism, but along with that is this sense of loss, like something has ended. But we have the rest of winter ahead of us, and when we take down our holiday-specific decorations, we can replace them with winter decorations so that we can continue to celebrate this cold season ahead of us. So today we're going to explore 3 non-Christmas DIY home decor projects. So let's get started. These paper stars are so simple, and you can personalize them to make them your own. You'll need the following materials. You can use any kind of paper, old Christmas cards that you're not ready to throw away yet, gift bags, they tend to be a bit sturdier than something like printer paper, and something thicker like cardstock works better, but you can use whatever you have on hand. You'll also need scissors, glue or tape, and some string to hang them up. Here is the pattern I made. You can also download a free copy at the link in the description, and you can make this any size. To start out, cut out your pattern, trace the pattern onto your cardstock and cut it out. You should end up with 1 main star piece and 4 of the little diamond shapes. Fold the diamonds in half and cut that slit vertically, then slide each one over every other point so that they meet in the center. You can use tape or glue or whatever you'd like to attach a piece of string to one of the top points, and then you're ready to hang your paper star. These are so cute and so simple, and they're a great way to use up materials that you probably already have lying around your house. This botanical garland is another great way to kind of replace your Christmas decor with something seasonal. And you can use any materials you want to make it exactly how you'd like it. Some materials you'll need are string or twine, glue, I'm using air dry foam clay, wire, any other botanical elements like sticks or twigs, sprigs of evergreen, dried berries, leaves, whatever you have on hand. And then paint, if you're going to paint any of your botanicals. I'm using air dry foam clay to make my little mushrooms, and this takes 24 to 48 hours to cure. All right, so let's open this up. I'm starting by making a little mushroom base. So I'm gonna take just a tiny little, I don't know, nickel-sized piece of clay, and I'm gonna roll it into a ball. So now I have a ball, so I'm gonna roll it kind of into a slightly conical shape. So it's fatter on the bottom and a little skinnier on the top. And then on the ends, I'm just going to tap them on my desk to kind of flatten them out a bit. And they kind of look like mini marshmallows, and I love it. And they don't need to be identical. Mushrooms in the wild aren't identical, so our little DIY mushrooms don't have to be either. And next we're gonna make the mushroom caps, so a slightly bigger piece of clay. And again, we're gonna just roll it into a ball, roll until it's nice and smooth. So we have a ball, bigger than a gumball, smaller than a golf ball. And then just like with the mushroom base, we're just gonna kind of squish it against our surface so it's flat on one side and rounded on the other side, like a little mushroom cap. So squish, squish, squish. And so we can see we have this nice little flat on one side, round on the other side, mushroom cap. And the clay is still really soft, so it's super easy to just take our base and our cap and just right in the center, kind of squish it on there. If it's already drying out, you might need a little bit of moisture, kind of twisting it a little bit just to get some adhesion. And now we have our first little mushroom. Focus. Well, anyway, set them off to the side and we make the rest of them. Now this one's a little top heavy, so it keeps tipping over. So you can just, lean it against something so it stands up straight. As my mushrooms have sat, they've gotten a little bit tippy. This guy kind of got bent. So you can either leave them this way because it'll look like just like a happy little tippy mushroom. The clay is going to stay soft for a while, so you can continue to just kind of reshape them as you please until they dry. For this clay takes 24 to 48 hours. As your clay is drying, this is the perfect time to gather your other botanical elements. So I've grabbed some, like this little fake leaf thing, some twigs just from my backyard. These ones are kind of fun. They have little seed pods on them. And we'll be back when the clay is dry. So my clay has cured and I have 6 little mushrooms and it's time to start painting. So I have some red for the mushroom caps, a little bit of red. I'm gonna grab some black just to tone it down, just the tiniest bit of black to tone that down. I'm gonna take a tiny bit of black and just to tone down. Ooh, that was way too much black. Let's grab some more red. I'm gonna start painting my mushroom caps. So very easy. This clay is so easy to paint. Just dabbing on some red up until the kind of edge. And you could also paint your mushrooms like a more normal color, like a grayish brown, or really any color of mushroom. I love this toadstool design, so that's kind of what I'm going for. But you can make this your own, however you like it. So there's my first little mushroom cap and it's already looking so cute. So I will continue to paint and check back in when we're on the next step. My mushrooms are dry, and so I'm cutting my wire into some 1-inch sections and then bending them in half to form a loop. I add my glue and insert these little loops into the tops of each mushroom. Then it's time to design. I'm tying my twigs to the twine, and then I'm just cutting these leaves into smaller clusters. Then I add the leaves and the mushrooms to the twine, and I'll keep repeating this sequence until it's done. This is such a fun way to create a natural, wintry garland to keep your home bright after the holidays. Next is our crochet snowflakes. Now I looked through a lot of crochet patterns for various snowflakes, and I ended up kind of making my own variation of this pattern here. This is their work, so I'm going to link their instructions and their tutorial video in the description below. I'm just using Red Heart Super Saver white acrylic yarn and my 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. Basically, you start with a magic circle, and then the pattern is just a series of double crochet, single crochet, and slip stitches to make 6 little snowflake branches. It only uses basic stitches, but just manipulating the project itself is a bit tricky, so I would say this is beginner to intermediate level. The pattern says it takes 10 minutes to crochet 1 snowflake, but I'm on number 5 now, and it took me about 15 minutes still. So I think if you're a fast crocheter and once you've done a few, you might be able to do one in 10 minutes, but I cannot. So you've been warned. Once you've finished making your snowflakes, you might want to starch them so that they hold their shape a little better, because it's yarn, so it's, you know, floppy. Since I used a pretty fluffy yarn and a big crochet hook size, mine are holding their shape pretty well. If you want to use a method of starching your project, you can store it away and it'll hold its shape for the next year as well. I will link a video in the description where you can see how to do that. And the last step is to string your snowflakes onto some twine. You can also use ornament hooks, which works really well too if you do want to use these as a Christmas decoration next year. And those are our 3 non-Christmas winter DIY decor. If you're like me and you delay taking down your Christmas decorations because the house just feels so empty once it's gone, this is a great alternative. You can still celebrate the season and enjoy winter and fill your home with something cozy and festive to celebrate the winter season. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to click the like button down below. And if you enjoy crafting and sewing videos, feel free to subscribe. I post a couple times a month and I'd love to see you around. Bye!